Afternoon, folks. Hope you're doing well. It's kind of cloudy and overcast, a little bit of rain here in beautiful downtown countryside. And this is the third and last installment of my first little demo of composing for kids. And in the first one, I showed you a simple way of generating basically two measures of material by basically mirroring. And what I mean by that is by taking a short 4/4 note pattern and putting it into a measure 4/4 and then mirroring it by writing out a second measure with that same material backwards, literally just reverse. And we played. I played an example or two of that. In the second part of composing for kids, which eventually will become known as composing for kids 1B. There will be 1A, 1B, and 1C. I showed you a few other ways of taking that material and lengthening it, and that having to do with such things as octave doubling. In other words, taking a single line and literally just moving it, playing it down or up with an octave. Or by doubling an octave. Like so. So I showed you a couple of ways to increase the amount of material that you have by simple games that kids can play with the material. Now, the last thing I want to show you for sort of tempt you and pique your curiosity as to see how he does this, is to show you a couple of examples of the kinds of things that if you start studying with me and you continue for a while, you can get this much material into a short little piece of approximately, say about a minute. And if you study further with me, you can learn other techniques and games that you can apply to that same material to make it even more varied and more interesting. So, with that in mind, let's have a listen to if your kids study with me for a certain period of time, approximately about a semester or so, they can end up ending up with a little passage that sounds like this. So that's the use of mirroring, moving to different octave registers, and doubling of octaves. Those three little techniques will generate enough material to get, I'd say maybe about a minute or so, 45 seconds to a minute of music. And I think it sounds interesting enough to listen to a couple of times and say, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, now and that would be, I'd say, probably by the end of the first semester of working with me, if you do your work, you could at least get to that. And if you really do your work and study with me for maybe at least a semester, maybe two, and really work and do what I ask you to do, you could end up with material that sounds kind of like this. Just make sure I've got this right. Okay, and play that again. You'll notice that one has louds and softs in it, and it's got eighth notes in it. And it's amazing how much even that little bit of adding that kind of game playing really helps make the music sound more interesting and much closer to actual music that you'd hear at a concert. Let me play that one again. Okay, so that's an example of the kinds of things that you can start writing yourself or having your kids try to start writing at the end. Well, starting from, well, about the halfway through the first semester through to the end of the 2 years with me if you do your work and you practice the way you'd practice a piano, learning to play a piano piece. Because composing requires that same kind of dedication and practice. It doesn't all happen all at once. No, it doesn't. But if you keep working at it and going over it and practicing, that's the kind of thing that you can be doing. By about the end of like 2 semesters of work with me. Of course, you study other stuff, you learn other stuff and things like that. But that's the kind of thing that you can start writing, using musical notation to write, literally muse to write. Okay, all right, I think that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed that, and the sweats a few people's, piques a few people's curiosity, and I will chat with you soon. Bye-bye.